Good morrow, everyone. Happy Saturday. A beautiful Saturday it is. Looks like it's going to be great weather. Looks like there's already a lot of stuff going out. Haven't been outside yet. I'm going to go outside and get the newspapers in just a moment. A lot to get to today. Today my wife and I are going to a wedding. We're going to Jeffrey Goldstein's wedding to his fiancee, soon to be wife, Andrea. That's going to be in New Jersey. It's going to be in tonight. I'm looking forward to that. I have Jeffrey's not on social media, but I know several of his family members are. Jeffrey is one of those guys, and I think it's difficult to argue with, that eschews social media. But we were just in Atlantic City for his bachelor party, and there we are at the Hard Rock, and there Jeffrey is the gentleman in the patriotic cap. The patriotic hat, rather. I am the one, obviously, in the Atlantic City hat. And I am looking forward to the wedding. I'm sure it'll be a lot of fun. And hopefully it is delightful and all the rest. Speaking of weddings and different family events, different events to celebrate, different events of all varieties. By the way, hello to all 5 people that are watching right now, 4 on Twitter, aka X, and that's it. Just the 4 people that we have on Twitter for the moment. But speaking of occasions to celebrate, a friend of mine, I'm not going to say who, because in case he's watching this or she's watching this, I want to make sure the surprise is maintained. A friend of mine had a baby recently, and they don't live too close to us, so we wanted to send them something. So I go on through one of these websites that you can send a bottle of champagne, and that's what I sent. I sent a bottle of a champagne gift set, because the entity that used to be able to send stuff with, which used to be very easy to send, Drizzly, just closed. So you can't use Drizzly anymore. So I send this other thing through, I think it's wedrinkbubbles.com or something along those lines. And I ordered it a couple of weeks ago, maybe a week ago. And sure enough, it says it's giving me all the updates. Your order's been placed, your order's in transit, and all the rest. And then yesterday, I'm taking a nap at my mom's after I drop off Carmine to school. And I come home. There's a FedEx thing on my door addressed to me. I didn't order anything. And it's not the kind of thing they can leave without a signature. And then I'm just going through my emails this morning, and right around the same time that FedEx person came to my house, I got an email from this entity. It's I'll tell you what's called. We Drink Bubbles. Yeah, I get an email from them saying that there's a failed delivery attempt. So I think what has happened here is, even though the shipping address is somewhere else, but the billing address is mine, I think they tried to send this to me rather than the person who's supposed to get this. So I'm hoping this is not a whole big to do. I just emailed them, informing them of what happened, trying to get this redirected back to where it's supposed to be. We'll see, because then not only will we have a surplus bottle of champagne here, but then I'll have to find a way to ship this to them again. But we'll see. I'm hoping I didn't put the wrong address. I don't think I can. I remember some difficulty ordering this. I remember put in the cart, and then the put in the cart, and then the order. I'm not great with these online orders, so I'm hopeful that I'm able to get that straightened out straight away. We'll see. Those of you that are watching this, if you'd be so good as to retweet this or share this so that the people in your listening world, your viewing world, your orbit, your social media orbit can see this, and it helps us get more views, and that's a big deal. I'm going to keep this kind of short today because obviously everybody knows that there's only 1 hour in social media that I watch, and that hour is, I tried to find his book handy, but I can't because Carmine threw a lot of my stuff, on the floor. The only hour in social media on cable news that I watch is Michael Smerconish, the greatest hour in cable news, and one of the things that's part of the whole Saturday morning Smerconish experience is he does a preview video on the YouTube that I try never to watch, which is quite good. Some weeks, the preview video that he does on the YouTube is better than his actual show. I don't know if that's the case today, but I'm looking forward to seeing both the show and the YouTube video. So I will check that out and end this so that you can, if you want to watch Smerconish, can do that same thing. That's on CNN starting at 9. So last night I went to bed early with my wife. I went to bed around 9:30 maybe. And as is often the case on Friday night and Saturday night, I found myself boom wide awake on by 12 o'clock, 12:30. And it's not unusual. So I go downstairs, get some work done, do some reading, some writing, and so forth. And what is unusual is that I found that today is so I watched this documentary that I've been wanting to watch for a while, the WWE Wrestling Legends documentary on the Biography channel. And I was the next one that I was up to. I don't watch them all because if it's a wrestler that I'm not interested in, then I don't watch it. But the next one that I was up to that I was interested in was Davy Boy Smith, the British Bulldog. And I watched it. I thought it was an interesting episode, and really, unfortunately, someone who died at 40. And all these guys, you don't picture them because they were so big, both in terms of our minds and in terms of stature. I mean, meaning in terms of physicality. You don't picture them as being young, but they were. So Davy Boy Smith died. His whole wrestling career was over by the time that he was by the time he was 40. He died by 40. So it's a sad thing. So I watched the documentary. I thought it was interesting. I thought it was I thought it was informative. I thought it was well done. I'll give my full review probably on the radio. But then I log on to Facebook just a little while ago, or actually after I watched the documentary, and I see that of all days, now this Davy Boy Smith documentary aired for like 3 or 4 weeks ago. It's been on maybe more than that. It's been on my list to watch for 4 weeks. So I go onto Facebook into one of these wrestling Facebook groups that I'm a part of. What happened on this day in 2020, 2002? On this day in 2002, May 18th, Davy Boy Smith passed away at the age of 39 from a heart attack. Obviously, he had a lot of issues with drugs. But the point is, I watched this on May 18th, and it just so happens that that was the day that he died, and I had no idea. I didn't know that until right after I watched it. Now, what are the chances of that? Again, this stuff happens to me all the time. They call it synchronicity. But of all the documentaries that I could watch, I watched a documentary about Davy Boy Smith, and of all the days that I could watch it, not yesterday, not tomorrow, not last week, not next week, but it's today, the day that he died. This kind of thing happens to me constantly, all the time. So I don't know what it means, but I'm curious if anyone watching this, Frank, Mass, Noemi, Charles, Jean, Felix, if any of you have ever experienced something like that with synchronicity, where something that's seemingly random happens at a time or on a day where there's something, I don't know, unusual about it. Because, I mean, it's almost Twilight Zone stuff. My friend Vinny Ignazio, who got mentioned yesterday in Ask Frank Anything, says the call was coming from in the house. Well, I don't know why that stuff like that happens, but I don't know if it's about the energy that we put out, or I don't know if it's about something else. But there's something that causes that kind of thing. I think it's more than just a coincidence. Maybe it is. I don't know. By the way, if you didn't hear Vinny's mention in the first hour of yesterday's program, please check out the podcast. You can go to fmwabc.com, fmwabc.com, or just search The Other Side of Midnight on any podcast app. Those of you that are watching this video, whether it be on Twitter or on Facebook, please be so good as to share it. That will help more people find what we're doing. Or if you don't want to share, give us a like. Give us a like or a comment or a heart or whatever you want to give us, a star. And that'll help more people in your feed see that you're watching this, and that'll help more people watch it. So that was interesting. If you're a wrestling fan, if you're interested in Davey Boy Smith, I would encourage you to check that out. And, it's well done. I mean, it's got some problems. They made them, they used to be 2 hours, these things, and they made them only an hour, which is really more like, after commercials, 45 to 50 minutes. So they pack much less of a punch. Frank Fiore, thank you for the heart. They pack much less of a punch, and they get much less into these documentaries than they used to. So, but if you're a fan of Davey Boy Smith, I think, or if you're interested in him, even if you weren't a fan, I think you'll get a kick out of that documentary. Kick is the wrong word, but I think you'll be interested in that documentary, WWE Legends. Now, my Uncle Steve passed by yesterday to borrow a table. We have these folding tables, because he's in the midst of unloading his entire collection. He spent a lifetime putting together this collection of stuff, antiques, and you name it, finding stuff and doing all sorts of stuff. His house really could be a museum, but now he's getting married, and I think, he's at a different stage in his life, and he wants to get rid of a lot of the stuff that he's put together for a lifetime. So he's going to the Richmond County, I don't know if it's called the flea market, but he's going to the show at Richmond County tomorrow to sell some of his wares. So he came by yesterday to pick up these two tables. And it was good to see him and everything. I think he brought a toy for Carmine. Carmine was certainly happy to see him. But he is in the auto body business. So he took a look at some damage in our car. I talked about this before. On Ash Wednesday, someone had sideswiped our vehicle very frustratingly in the same spot that we had just gotten repaired 4 or 5 months earlier. And now our lease is coming to an end, and we don't know what we're going to do. Maybe we'll buy it. Maybe we'll renew the lease. We'll see. And he is going to do whatever he can to spray this or fix this damage on the side of our car. So either Rachel and me will both go to that shop today. So I don't know if that's going to be during Smerconish or after, but if it's after Smerconish, there's a better chance of me going. If it's during Smerconish, then Rachel will probably go on her own. Jean says, I once got set up on a date with a girl that had the same birthday as me, and we're still friends over 30 years later. Okay. I guess that's an example of synchronicity. Could be. Felix writes, severe weather in Houston this week. I am believing the climate is changing in a big way. Yeah, I mean, we've seen a lot of incidents like that. Felix, can't say that I'm certainly wishing the best to everybody that's out in Houston. In fact, I know some people out there, and I'm going to have to reach out to them and see if they're okay. I mentioned this on the air yesterday, but William Shatner does this charity horse show, and it's coming up, and it's going to be June 1st. I'm not going to go out there. It would be fun, but I'm not going to go. But they do these. They have this auction with all this really interesting Shatner memorabilia, and I am going to bid on some of these auction items because they have some really cool stuff. See if I can figure out a way to show you some of this stuff. There's all sorts of not just Star Trek memorabilia, but all sorts of other interesting stuff from Shatner's career. So you look at this. See, there's a signed Grumpy Old Men script, a signed Miss Congeniality script, only $410. That's the current bid. Look at this. A Star Trek coaster of the ship's saucer section signed by William Shatner. Current bid is only $125. See, I'm going to bid on that. That's pretty inexpensive. It's only 15 days left in the bidding, and it all goes to a good cause. So it's all great charitable stuff that his horse charity supports. I talked about this on the air. This is the Enterprise D, which Shatner has signed, which is cool, but he was never on the Enterprise D. So that's it. This would be much more impressive if it was signed by Patrick Stewart or something like that. But as you can see here, they have a lot of other cool stuff. See, this is cool. A signed script from. Hey, Carmine! You got a bagel? Here, well, let's have you say hello to everybody. Oh, hang on. So have you say hello? Oh, let's take this screen. Oh boy, wave hi to everybody.
Hi.
Who's that boy?
Me.
You. And who's that?
Daddy.
That's right. Show everybody your bagel. Yeah. You have 38 people watching right now, including Uncle Vinny. Uncle Vinny is watching. And see there he is. He's giving us a hard time. What are you gonna do today?
Is that you, Daddy?
That is me. That's a picture of me on the wall. Yeah. John Gambling and me.
And who's that, Daddy?
That's John Gambling, a great radio talk show host.
Is that Daddy? Is that Daddy?
Yeah.
And who they people?
Yeah, Daddy that's Daddy and the former mayor of Atlantic City, Don Guardian, and Assembly member Robert Oth from New Jersey. That's Daddy. That's Daddy.
Who's that?
That's Robert Oth.
Who's that?
That's Don Guardian, who's also in the state assembly now in New Jersey. So there's that. All right.
I can go on Daddy's lap.
You want to go on Daddy's lap? Okay. All right. We'll wrap this up in a minute because we have to watch Smerconish, and Carmine may go to Uncle Steve's and see if he can't get our car fixed. Are you going to go to Uncle Steve's today?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did he bring you a toy yesterday?
A baseball field.
What?
Baseball field.
Baseball field? Yeah, we saw some in Newark. Did we pick Mommy up from Newark yesterday from the train? Yeah, we did. Okay.
Can I watch a Mommy?
Go ahead. Go inside. You can watch a little bit of television, and then I'm going to watch Smerconish. All right. Cynthia says, good morning, Frank. Good morning to you, Cynthia. Thank you for being a subscriber. By the way, I want to encourage everybody to be a subscriber. If you want to subscribe, it's 99 cents a month. Just go to facebook.com/become supporter/Morano fan. And it's the best 99 cents that you can spend, honestly. Even Eric Schmidt, who was formerly the producer of the John Gambling Show, and I think Curtis and Kubi for a time, he's now a subscriber. I don't know if he's still working for FEMA or what he's doing, but he's a great guy. Gene writes, don't let Carmine become a Met fan. It's child abuse. Gene, I completely agree with you. He turned on this fan. What did he turn on this fan for? See, my sister slept here yesterday, so we had a fan for her. That was her. I completely agree. Everyone always assumes that I'm trying to push my Met beliefs on him. And as you saw in yesterday's ball game against the Marlins, being a Met fan is really subjecting yourself to a lifetime of heartache. So look, my brother's a Yankee fan. My dad is a Yankee fan. I hope he does become a Yankee fan. I'm not a Yankee fan, and he may not become a Yankee fan because we don't really have the Yankee games on. But I'm hoping he doesn't become a Met fan because it's one heartbreak after another. I remember my first week as an intern at a radio station. Not my first week, but really my first day as an intern. One of the first people that was kind to me, that showed me how to use the coffee machine. Oh, good. Our last newspaper is here. I guess that's the Staten Island Advance, or the Advance, or Advance. Yeah. The one of the first people that was kind to me at the radio station that I was interning at was also one of the first people that was fired that I'd ever worked with. And I was very sad about this because he was a nice guy. And as he was leaving, he was saying, hey, it's a great business. It's tough business, but it'll break your heart. And it's right. And he was right about it. And I've seen that many times since then. But So true of being a Met fan. It's just terrible. But sorry, by the way, to the Knick fans last night, losing against Indianapolis. I know my friend Noam Layden was very excited about that Knick game. But I mean, what were people expecting, right? The game was in Indianapolis. They were bound to win. It's going to be interesting. I think it's tomorrow night, game 7. I don't know the last time the Knicks were in one of these game 7 playoff series is, but it's going to be an exciting game. I think I don't know anything about basketball, but I think they have a chance at winning. I certainly hope so. And obviously, I know the Rangers fans are pretty excited about what's happening with them as they embark on their next series, I think on Wednesday. So best of luck to them again. I really know, I know a little bit about baseball, a little bit about football. I know nothing about hockey and basketball, but I'm happy to see people that are fans of the Knicks and Rangers having a good time this playoff season. So I'm going to check out some of those more items on that William Shatner auction. You can go to, I think, horseshow.org is the charity if you want to check out some of these items for yourself. I want to congratulate the people of the state of New Jersey because Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has made the ballot there. He has made the ballot, and if you look at states that he has now officially made the ballot, he is either officially on the ballot or has submitted enough signatures to be on the ballot in 15 states, adding up to theoretically over 200 electoral votes. So he is rapidly approaching that magic number of 270, which is one of the criteria needed to get him into the debates. Now, a lot of people have been asking about this upcoming CNN debate in June, which I think was done really just to screw Robert F. Kennedy Jr. out of the opportunity of being in that debate. But that's the thing, you don't want him to peak too early. If he peaks now, then he's not likely to win in November. But I think if he peaks in September and people are just up to here with Statler and Waldorf, who are running as the Democratic and Republican nominees, then I think they may view him as a fresh face and a refreshing voice right at the right time. But I saw the polling requirements for this June 27th debate, and it's interesting. It's a little bit different than the Commission on Presidential Debates requirements. So he needs to be at 15% in national polls by June 20th in order to qualify for the CNN debate. So he needs to be at 15% in polls from 4 organizations. Now, that doesn't mean he needs an average of 15%. He could be at an average of 15% and not make it. There's polls from 13 organizations that are being considered, and any 4 polls will count. So ABC, CBS, CNN, Fox News, Marquette, Monmouth, NBC, New York Times, Siena, NPR, Marist, Quinnipiac, Wall Street Journal, Washington Post. He's at 15% or more in some of these polls anyway, as it is. I don't know if that'll be the case come June. But you just saw his running mate, Nicole Shanahan, dump $8 million into the campaign for his ballot access efforts. And if it comes to running ads necessary to get him up to 15%, I could see her doing that between now and June in order to make sure he qualifies. I'll tell you, that's a game changer. If he's in those debates, I think a lot of people are unhappy with Trump and Biden, and I'll view him as a refreshing change. David writes, "Morning, Frank. Whatever happened with the expensive bottle of wine gifted to you from your mom? Tuxedo Dave, go RFK Jr." David, great question. I still have not sold it. I'm going to reach out to a friend of mine who's in the liquor business this weekend to see if he has some way that he knows about doing this. If anyone else knows of a way that I can sell this, it's a bottle of Salone 1985. It's a great bottle. If you look online, it goes for about $3,000. It's really an impressive bottle of champagne, and my mother gave it to me. I would love to just drink it, but my wife says no. If it's at a time when we really need the money for we were told that we need breaks for $1,400, but she said she won't enjoy it if it's if it's that expensive, and we could use that for money. So, but there you go. There's the bottle. But the problem is this: a lot of places won't buy it from you off the street because they can't make any guarantees about how you've been storing it for the last 40 years. And so they won't take your word for it, because if it's gone bad, it becomes difficult for them to sell. So if anyone wants to buy it, you can absolutely email me at frank.morano@redappleaudionetworks.com. That's frank.morano@redappleaudionetworks.com. And like I said, if you want to help us, financially out, and you don't want to spend the $2,000 or $3,000 to buy a bottle of champagne, if you're on Facebook, you become a subscriber. There's a sign-up method. If you are watching this, you can just click the overview button under the comments box, then scroll to the bottom and click the subscribe button, a way that Brandon, they don't make it easy, but Brandon was able to figure out a way to get that out there. I really enjoyed being on Dan Abrams' show this week. Oh, sorry, that's Jeffrey Goldstein. There's Dan Abrams. I did leave him my book to sign, so hopefully it gets signed. And he's right behind Lyndon Johnson there, this book about Theodore Roosevelt and a terrific trial that happened in upstate New York about 100 years ago. I thought it went really well. I didn't have enough time to say everything that I wanted to say. And, you're sharing 4 or 5 minutes with 2 other people. I was talking about the Kevin Spacey situation. Hopefully people thought it came across okay. Hopefully I made my points. And in essence, my view is, if you haven't followed the Kevin Spacey situation, is the guy has been exonerated in so far every court that has looked at this case, civil and criminal. So we have a presumption of innocence in this country. I also think you need to separate the art from the artist. While, Spacey's personal actions might have been not the best, his talent as an actor shouldn't be dismissed. And a lot of artists throughout history have had personal flaws or even committed crimes, yet their work continues to be appreciated. Hey, you took your sleep sack off. Good. What do you have?
Are you crying, Daddy?
Why were you crying? Why were you crying?
I do some makeup.
Oh, you put some makeup on? Did you put mommy's makeup on?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
That's enough of makeup.
What? All right, we're going to get going. We're going to watch Smerconish. Please send stars if you can. Michael says you were watching Lionel. If you talk to Lionel, Michael, ask him why he won't talk to me anymore. Because he and I were very good friends. And unlike someone like Mark Simone, who I hear badmouths me all over town, I never hear that from Lionel. I never hear that he badmouths me. In fact, I've only heard he said good things. And yet I've tried to reach out to him many times over the last 7 years, and he never responds to any text messages, emails, phone calls, every which way. I'm going to try to send him a letter. I'm going to look up his address through the Board of Elections and try and send him a letter. John Carini, did you ever get the data off your backup drive? No, not yet. It is on my list of things to do today. Right now, I judge what I'm going to do based on how many unread emails that I have. Right now, I have 80 unread emails, so I'm going to do this. Then when I get to 70 unread emails, I'm going to read a chapter of my book. Then when I get to 60, I'm going to record this weekend.
Can I have this for a minute?
What do you want?
Can I have this for a minute?
What, you want the sticker?
This.
The mouse? Okay. Just don't drop it, okay?
Okay.
Then when I get to 60, I am going to record this weekend's edition of Overnight Oddities, which means I have to write it. I don't know what I'm going to write today. And then when I get to, when I get to 50, then I'm going to take my hard drive over to Best Buy and see if they can help us out. Because a gentleman was kind enough to reach out from Las Vegas who has a company out there. My co-brother-in-law, James, recommended another company. I don't really want to ship it out anywhere. I'd prefer it if on my person. Johnny Potenza, who's a great guy, sent me out, sent me a company I on Staten Island. I'd prefer to use a company that I don't have to ship it somewhere for. Mass asks, why does Mark Simone badmouth you? I have no idea. He's a weird guy. Last time I saw him last year at Talkers, wouldn't even shake my hand. Again, up until 17 years ago, we were very good friends. But for the last 17 years, he's been on a Frank Morano bad-mouthing tour. I have no idea why. What are you doing, bud? What are you doing?
Hold this, Daddy.
Yeah, okay, hold on. But can you turn it off so you don't screw up the cursor? All right, we got to go watch Smerconish. Do you like Smerconish?
I want to watch this.
Okay, all right. So that's exciting that RFK Jr. may make the debate. This is going to be the last weekend that I'm circulating signatures for RFK Jr. to get on the ballot in New York. Greg writes, since your newfound celebrity status, have you had any contact with a former teacher professor from elementary through college? Congratulating you on your success. Yeah, the Staten Island being what it is, you see people like that all the time. So yes, but actually that even happened long before I was on the radio. That happened really more when I was hosting a public access TV show, Morano Vision. And the visibility of Morano Vision was so wide on Staten Island that everybody watched it. So even though I was, not making any money or anything, I was very well known on Staten Island. And that's when I would hear from a lot of people more because, television's a more visual medium than radio. So I heard about it much more from at that point. Lastly, May 31st is the deadline for anyone that would like to submit a nominee for the Hollywood Walk of Fame. There is a radio category, and I would love to submit a nomination for John Gambling to get a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. But it's $250 to submit a nomination. And, we have to pay $180 for a babysitter today. Then we got to make a wedding gift. We got to spend $1,400 for brakes and then figure out how to deal with the fact that we're over our mileage on our new car. If I tell my wife that we're going to spend $250 to nominate John Gambling for a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, I don't think that would go over well. So if anyone else wants to do it, you have till May 31st to do that. There she is. All right. I'm going to try and grab a little breakfast, see a little Smerconish, and the rest. So if that website for the Hollywood Walk of Fame, if you do want to nominate anybody, let me see. It's pretty simple, the nomination process. I was looking at it. And if you want to email me, it's walkoffame.com. It's very simple, walkoffame.com. I'll help you with the application. And John said that he would agree to write a letter saying that he'll agree to it. So then if he gets elected, then it's $75,000. We're going to figure out how to make that. But we'll see. If you want to, I'll chip in. I'll chip in $50. I'll chip in $50 towards the application fees. If anyone else wants to foot the bill for the other $200, be my guest, or or do your thing. You could pay the whole thing, or we can collaborate, or you could send stars. All right, please share this video. Thank you to the 13 people that are watching. Daddy's live. Okay, we're gonna wrap up, buddy, so we can go watch Michael Smerconish. Okay, he's starting. Okay, say bye, everybody.
Bye.
Say please share.
Please share.
Do you share?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you're not the best sharer, right? Please send stars.
Please send stars.
What are we gonna do today? We're gonna go to Uncle Steve's?
Yeah.
You dropped your truck on. Are we gonna play outside at all?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Have a great Saturday, everybody. We may do a special subscriber-only video if there's time to do it from the wedding. I got a look at Brian Goldstein's Best Man speech. Looks quite good. And hope everybody enjoys the weekend. Share this video. Listen to the podcast if you haven't from Friday.